Log in. I just want to log in the WhatsApp page. Yes, just click in this one, download, right? Yes, yes. This one, enter, login. Yes, login. Transfer the file.
Нотариусом еще дальше проверили.
People. Yeah. Sorry, please. Yes. Okay, I have just connected my. Okay. Just let's see it's working perfectly. Perfect.
Do you have only this presentation? Yes, or
Yes,
and
only for today. Yeah.
for today? Yes. Okay. I will screen
Sure.
Perfect.
So, on the last page, you're from IC, right?
Yes.
Okay, SESS, there is one software, SESS, we need on this laptop. Spoke to Dr.
You
Nigel.
got Bukhara. Yes, yes,
Yes.
she said, I will find, but I don't to install. I think it will be maybe 5 minutes to install. No problem.
It's complicated, and also it's for 30 days, it's a free. If you, because I cannot install on Mac. Mac is not free.
Now we have 5 minutes. Maybe we'll try. Now.
No, maybe later.
Later. Okay.
This software, see?
I think it's from IBM website. Yes, this one I will find. Yes.
I just need for last day only.
Okay.
Maybe 1 hour.
Okay. Okay. I will.
Thank you.
Don't tell me to do more. Проверим. Sim.
In progress.
Yep. Точно меня? Да. Окей. Good.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm great, thank you. How are you all? Fine. So, are we expecting others to come today, or we can start? Right. Just a few minutes about not myself. You will know about myself. The world knows about ourselves rather than we talk about ourselves actually. So find some good items, good things which you have done. So people will be talking about it. But the university I belong to, it's a prestigious one. So I need to talk about it. And also I need to learn a little about you, that who are you actually? Who are you doesn't mean you are a foreigner or you are local. Of course, I can understand almost all of you are from Uzbekistan. The level, you are a student, you are a lecturer, you are a researcher. That's a very important for me to understand before we begin. Okay, so how many PhD students are here?
PhD students.
Yes. My question is very tricky actually. Yes, PhD student actually, you can be a lecturer, that's a first or second role, but PhD student, almost all, is it? PhD student once more? Except 3, 4. 5. And how many of you are lecturer come researcher?
Researcher, but now lecturer.
Last.
When you are a PhD student, then definitely you are a researcher actually. But my question is about you are a lecturer and researcher. Okay? Because a researcher, when we join any of the academia, any university, in the current time, universities are not hiring us only to teach. Because the trend is changing. Things are changing actually. Because what we teach now, it is completely 200% different what we used to teach. The way of teaching, the style of teaching is emerging actually. Okay. Probably I can say in a couple of years actually no lecturer will be available in the class. Okay. And we have started that thing actually. Okay. Of course, I belong to Tellus University, one of the top 1% university in the world. Asia's top 40 university, and most interesting, there are few disciplines such as hospitality and leisure management. That's among top 20 in the world. Last year QS ranking we are 19. Okay, so our target is to be among top 10% because while leisure and management I'm talking because I belong to the hospitality tourism school basically. So I really feel so good when I talk about this, that I am from one of the prestigious institutions in the world. Of course, our top 50, our marketing schools falls in the top 50. Okay. Now, why we are talking about this? Because I need something to start with. And for the next 3 days, we are going to talk about the research, right? Research. So, today my focus will be on why research is important. What are the good things we need to understand or keep in mind why to start the research? What type of research? Different styles, different ways, different methods, etc., etc., etc. It will be connected to tomorrow, and the last day will be the blast actually. Okay, where we will be having several hands-on activities. That's why I was talking to Mr. IT person that we need a SPSS software because so I can go through the applications also, how to analyze, how to enter the data, what is good, what is bad. If there is a problematic data, then how to make it workable data and so on. So getting back to the point where I started, of course, I'm here to talk about my university because I feel so honored. But this is all because of research. Because every university, every institution, every college is teaching to the student actually. But teaching is the job actually where they emerge, where they came in a concept. But now things are changing actually, and research is one which is changing the style, which brings the institutions, which brings the researchers on profile actually. These are the other disciplines in my university. Some of them are within 100, some of them are within 150, some are within 200. Because all the disciplines are not in a top tier 20 or 50, there are among 200 also, such as the arts and humanities in 228, number 20. So we can say among top 250 universities among world. Whereas we have electrical and electronic engineering, 400 to 450, because it's just recently opened up, a couple of years back, just before COVID-19. So it will take time. Okay. Social sciences and sciences are the two major disciplines. When we talk about research, we try our best to divide the research. Okay. In social science, it's quite, I shouldn't say quite easy, but comparative to sciences, because in science, competition is very, very high. Okay. Before I get into the niche of today's topic, actually, please stop me anywhere if you want to take a break. Because if you don't stop me, we will keep on going. Okay, I'm not here to make you bored. If you want to take a break, just raise your hand. Let's have a break and have a coffee if you are not fasting today. So these are the three topics which I will be focusing as the first one is talking about mastering the publication process strategies for high impact journal success. Second, for tomorrow, mastering social scientific writing. Third one is about research design, research methodology actually. Okay, and that's the most important actually, where most of the papers get rejected. So today's topic actually mastering the publication process. You will see that I will be starting from beginning, very basic. I won't talk about research papers or what can be the elements of it actually. But why research is important? Because as a researcher, we need to understand. Okay, such as I'm a head of research, and in my faculty I have 267 staff. All 67 staff are not a researcher, but we have set KPI for them. They have a target, they must publish. So I keep on asking, must publish, where is your paper, where is your publish? I'm so busy.
How many times they should publish?
Not how many times, how many papers they must publish. That's a right phrase. Our target is 2 index publication each staff
In a year.
in a year. Cannot say 10 years. But there are good researchers who have published more than 30 papers in single year. Okay. 30 papers. Index, non-index, including book chapters, including research papers, and so on. I'm so happy that there was a COVID-19. Okay, yes.
New area for researching like this?
Sorry.
Like the pandemic period is a new area for
It was a beautiful time for me actually, because due to COVID-19, I opened up with several agendas. I came in a contact with several gurus, several people actually, who really taught me so many different things. If there was no COVID, probably no time. Okay, I should be on the same plan what I was doing. Okay. So we have in my faculty actually we have some good researchers who have published 17 papers, 20 papers, 28 papers, 32 papers also just in a single year. Okay, and I'm so happy to talk about that. The last year I published 27 papers. I edited 4 books and number of other elements. But again, I will be sharing number of links where you can check. That will be probably a homework for you today when we end the session. Okay. So you should know actually who is talking and who you are talking to, and what are the good questions you can ask. Because I always admire someone actually, not a celebrity. Celebrity in the research world, yes, but not a medical researcher, social scientist. Researcher who talks about tourism, researcher who talks about social sciences, researcher who talks about hospitality. Yes, I do admire, because there are always good things to learn. Okay. And there are always things which we consider not important, we don't need to look at, because as a human, we have limitations. So we have to make some priorities actually. What should I focus on? What I should keep as a second agenda, third agenda. Why I'm talking about? Because I'm trying my best to prepare you that research will be coming from your own. So I have been spoken to number of researchers, number of staff in my faculty. They are just having one excuse. Sorry, we are very busy. Sorry, we are very busy. You are very busy, but leaving office at 3 p.m. Whereas we are leaving at 7 p.m. You came to office at 10 p.m., 10 a.m. I came to office at 7:30. Sometimes we go to office on weekend also, like a Saturday morning, because kids are waking up at 12 o'clock. I just wake up at 7 o'clock, go to office, 3-4 hours, do my job and come back before they wake up. So we have to find the time. We have We have to find the time. So why I'm talking? Because unless you identify that, yes, I have to publish, this external push doesn't work actually. You have to bring that push from your side. PhD students, what is your target? You just want to finish the PhD. With the PhD degree, you will be zero. Literally, you will be zero actually. You won't be having a teaching experience. You don't have any research article published throughout your PhD. So when you enter to the market in academia, actually, you will be zero experienced person. So I'm sure you will find a job. I'm not here to discourage you, but probably still you have a time, you can prepare yourself actually. So rather than going for a lecturer, you can go for associate professor, assistant professor, senior lecturer actually, and you will be having the bargaining power, negotiation power. I'm different from other PhD students. Why? Because I have published 6 papers during my PhD. I was a tutor. I was having a teaching experience. Mastering the publication process. No one can make you master. First of all, we have to bring this enthusiasm from ourselves that we need to publish. We should publish. There is no other excuse. You identify actually. There are 24 hours in a day, 7 days per week, 30 days or 28 days. If you take an average 29 days per month, okay, 350 plus days actually in a year. You identify how many vacations you want to have, how many weekends you want to go off, and how many weekends you want to declare for the work. You must have your own calendar besides the normal monthly or yearly calendar actually. Okay, consider Sunday, but actually it's not Sunday for you because that Sunday is dedicated for my papers, for my research. So you have to ask yourself and you have to say, no, this is not Sunday for me. This is dedicated for that job. What job? My research paper. You have to stop those excuses, no time. I'm referring back to my colleagues, okay? Mastering the process. So ask yourself, why we need to publish? Publication process is a beautiful process. It's a beautiful journey, but it's an individual journey. If you are early career researcher, sooner once you have a PhD, how many of you are active on LinkedIn? Yeah, LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn, whatever you consider. Well, actual word what I pronounce is a LinkedIn. LinkedIn. Are you guys having account on it? How active you guys are?
That's how I did it. Only one person I have.
Mostly I get information from LinkedIn, but unfortunately I don't share.
Why one-sided? It should be two-sided. Right? You are copying, you are getting the information, but you are not giving the information. Problem. Second, you said, when I said LinkedIn and you said social media, LinkedIn is a social media? A big question for me. It's a platform, yes, but it's a professional platform. You went for a vacation somewhere, do you post your pictures on LinkedIn? Facebook, Twitter? Of course, that counts. So every platform has its own boundaries. Okay. So LinkedIn and Facebook, I'm very fond of, but I have a different post every day. And I don't sleep, actually, I don't feel sleeping if I don't have a post on both accounts. But one is a professional, one is a leisure, family time, and so on. It's not like we are posting because we want to show off. No, because we want to make sure the people follow us. It's not people follow us. Also, those who are expert, they will know that, okay, I'm doing this thing. They will catch me. And they will involve me in their team. Earlier I mentioned that research publication is a solo journey, right? But you have to bring your profile at somewhere where the expert also follows you. And they bring you to the team. Research is a teamwork. But to find that thing, you have to show something. Show something, right? Otherwise, we consider it's a free load on my shoulder. Okay, there are 3 authors in one paper, and who actually worked? First author. Second author, I'm your friend. Put my name in it. But sometimes we do, sometimes what I will get in return? My name in their paper. But that's unethical act. Making sure that whatever is being published with your name, second name, third author, fourth author, corresponding author, make sure that you have a contribution in that paper. Make sure that you are aware about what exactly happened in that paper. Otherwise, you will face the consequences. Recently, we have seen also one of the good researcher, one of the good close friend actually, appeared in one of the interview in one Australian university, prestigious private Australian university. He had a 300 plus publication in his CV. The interviewer just went through, okay, this paper of 74, what you did? Of course, I mean, that person had the CV 2 years back. And that was the point of rejection. So we should be aware of, if you are expert, if you have a contribution, you will never forget. Your friend and just added your name. So even though if you are third author, fourth author, fifth author, or any other author, first of all, as a PhD student, you shouldn't go more than 3 authors. You should be having the first authorship because it should be coming from your PhD research. So first and second max, don't go for third authorship ever. At least next 5 years after finishing your PhD, because you will be considered as an early career researcher. Okay. And then only you will be building up your team. Okay. Papers or the research is not all about numbers, it's all about quality. How much you are contributing and how much you are adding to the literature. It's all about experience. Correct. So research, your body is present, but your mind. My HR professional. Yeah. Are you available here physically and mentally? Yes. Most of the time I'm not. Even while I lecture also, I do think about so many things. Okay, so we are keep on repetitive, expert in talking about the same thing. We don't need to be mentally available, but that's a problem. And being a lecturer, being a researcher, being a speaker, actually, I don't like to sit and listen to someone. So when I start listening, I really feel yawning, sleeping, think about someone, take out mobile, check.
Because of oxygen.
Huh?
It's because of oxygen.
Because of
It doesn't mean that you are not interested, but it's oxygen.
Most of my students actually, okay, physically available, mentally somewhere else. Okay, thinking about something. And especially if it's a Friday. What's my plan tonight? Tomorrow? After? Next week? So for research, actually, you identify what is a good time. Shahrukh. Yeah. You asked me, are you oval or spiral?
Yeah.
Okay, as a character. Well, that's a new thing for me actually. Well, during my PhD, I was oval. Okay? Now actually life has been changed actually. Okay, we are sparrow. Early morning. Early morning. But again, it depends actually. What is a good time for you to focus? If we are replying emails, there are hundreds plus emails every day we are replying. Some emails, okay, thank you, bye bye, tata. But some emails where we have to think, find, and respond properly. Right?
Yes.
Most of the emails through mobile, it's easy actually. While driving also we are doing, but some emails we have to really focus, especially when it comes from top level management, from direct boss. Make sure it's a perfect answer. But emails especially, we don't need to be that focused. It can be immediately after lunchtime, which is the very, very tiring time actually, where we feel so dizzy, we feel so heavy, we feel so sleepy. That is not a good time for research at all. So research time probably early morning, or probably late night for you. Okay, once no disturbance. So I have a one rule at my home. So weekday or weekend doesn't matter. 10 o'clock curfew. Do you know curfew?
No, not going outside.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me. Means it's status. Sorry.
Being indoors.
Exactly. Being inside actually. It's a status confirmed by government, RD or whoever. The rule is you cannot go outside. If you go out, okay. So that's the 10 o'clock is a timeline it formed. Both kids and their mother inside. So I can focus actually. Then this connectivity from the Wi-Fi to my mobile, or especially the WhatsApp and all those actually. So can focus on that. Especially 1 hour. Again, it depends on the deadlines actually. Okay, if I have something to finish anyhow tonight with so heavy eyes, I have to. So never mind. Just high dose of espresso works for 2 hours.
I think espresso can make you anxious or something.
Espresso works differently on the different bodies. Okay, but by looking at you, don't take. Okay. Again, your body and your mind should be available in the same sense. Okay, mentally you are available, but body is not supported. Body is tired. So either you are mentally tired, either you are physically tired. Okay, making sure that both things are in a rest, nice, smooth, early morning especially. So I leave home at 7 o'clock, 7:30 office. Wonderful. Not many staff, not many colleagues, not many friends. Actually, just focus. Find a corner. In my own office, I just find a corner so not anyone can see me. Come on, come for coffee. Come for break. Sometimes we just sit under the table so no one can see, even my boss. And off the phone also. Just focus. Because that is a perfect time actually after having 5 to 6 hours of wonderful sleep. Okay. And then focus. What exactly? That 1 hour really you can finish nicer. Sometime in the midnight actually because of those tiredness, because of the deadlines, we are keep on focusing. Took me 3 hours to finish the half an hour job. And also with a lot of mistakes. What's the point? Better to stop and go to sleep. Okay, it's okay because you can't. And that after having 2 to 3 hours of sleep, early morning you can finish like this. Focus. So enthusiasm should come from yourself. Focus no one can give you. You cannot buy from anywhere. You have to create your own focus. Okay. How long is the PhD here? 3 years?
Yes.
Maximum or minimum? Minimum 3 years. Before 3 years, you cannot graduate. A normal rule.
Yeah, I believe our paper is ready.
Your thesis is ready.
Yeah.
Okay. And maximum?
Maximum 10.
10 years. So how many of you want to go for 10 years?
10 years is for like independent researchers. If we are PhD students and we have our payment from our government, that's why we have limited periods 3 years.
We have.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Exactly, actually, almost the same type of policy throughout the world. Actually, when we are on a scholarship, we have a given 3 years. Actually, and making sure that you finish within the 3 years. Otherwise, the 4th year you have to pay from your pocket. Okay, limited funds. I don't want to pay. I have to focus. Finish. But even though if you are paying or someone is paying, you should be focusing. Why to drag this? Why to drag this? So in my university, we have a PhD student, and then second status called GOT, graduate on time. So within 3 years, graduate on time. Graduate on time means within 2.5 years, they have to submit the thesis. The last 6 months is for will be sent for the examiners, review, viva, minor changes, major changes, and so on. So the 3 years means within 3 years have to graduate. So we should be focusing on that. Being a researcher can sometimes feel overwhelming, hyper-competitive work environment, funding and pressure to deliver results, or some of the factors that can affect researchers' well-being. Sometimes I feel so lost. I ask to my wife, what I'm doing? Am I in the right job? And also sometimes I knock the door of my boss office. What's going on? I got my last promotion only last year. He said, yeah, last year. I said, no. The way I'm going, I believe I have just 60 years of my life. Please promote me within 6 months. Because looking at the criteria I have accomplished, highly competitive work environment, teaching, researching, finding fundings, supervision, and blah 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 blah, so many. More than 20 different jobs actually. So when I open a laptop, for something in my mind I need to focus on, ending up with doing something else. After that, oh my God, it happens because we are human. So still we keep a diary here. We have 2 different calendars actually. Make sure that we should forget what was supposed to be done. When? Because if you are late, that's a disrespect also. If you are working in a team, you have to follow deadlines. Hyper competitive. So, no one is a perfect. Definitely someone is better than probably one step up to someone. You have your own strength now. Definitely you have something different, best compared to others. If we look at, okay, he is so good, publishing so good, having a wonderful funding, actually you are being others. And that is killing you internally. Also, this can be our late excuses. Very highly competitive. It's very hard to get. Have you given your 100% in terms of efforts? Ask yourself, could you do better than what you have done? They are also human who got that. How they got them? So why research is important, especially research in an index journal, impact factors journals actually. So we are going to talk about the impact factors and so on. So first of all, to get the boost or have a good career prospects, if you want to be one of the good researcher, if you want to become a dean or a vice chancellor of the university, if you want to be a well-known professor, then definitely this is the key actually where we have to start with. If you just want to become a normal lecturer, then you don't need a PhD even. Probably a bachelor's degree or master's degree is sufficient to teach to the students actually. But in the current time, research is important actually. Institutions, college, and even a local actually. Definitely not today, tomorrow, in next 5 years, things are changing. In the academics, you will need your paper to get published in influence, the high impact factor journals. In research, in academic research, there are 2 types of journal. One are indexed, one are non-indexed. In non-indexed journals, actually quite easy to publish. Okay. In index journals, it's quite hard to publish, but so many categories which we are going to look after. Getting published in a high impact factor journals can help open doors during the career climbs. So there are different KPIs actually, key performance indicators. Not every lecturer is the same. Everyone has its own capacity. Journals are said to be custodian of academics endeavors. or to showcase the profile of the person. When we are talking about impact factor journals, I'm sure those who have published, those who have identified the literature for their PhD or any of the previous paper, you know that what is impact factor. That's just a number. 2.1, 1.2, 1.7, 5.7. That's the impact factor of the journal. Okay. But when I publish my paper in that journal, successfully published, I have my own citation also. So I have my own impact factor that this stage, what is the impact factor of this person? So when we review the CV of academician who wants to join our university, actually, it's quite easy. Just going through the journal papers. No. If minimum 5 good journals in last 3 years, last 2 years, okay, let's see, at least screen nicely. Next stage, following stage. So there are 8 to 10 different stages where the CVs goes through first, and then only we call the person to interview. So out of 1,000, probably 8 to 10 persons are coming for interview. So it's very, very competitive actually, if we want to look for the best universities in the world. Journals are always on the lookout to the research papers that will have a significant impact on the academic. Why the journal should publish your paper? You are paying them. Wow. Thank you. You are talking about APC. Okay, we will be touching about that actually. For me, sorry, just one point, then I give the floor. For me, if the journal is asking you to pay, you block the journal immediately. We should work. You should block. It's your research. You put lots of efforts, energy, money on proofreading and this, and you are giving money to the journal to publish. And that journal will be making money when someone is buying the paper. So we shouldn't actually immediately stop. If we are really greedy enough, we want to choose and I have a publish, actually that journal is, I want to use one word, please allow me, lousy journals. Please don't. If you have a sufficient money, you want to publish, and you have money to spend, go for the best journal and make the paper under open access. Open access, actually you can pay. Open access is different than APC. Understand? So APC is like where the journals are charging money to publish the paper, which we shouldn't actually do. It's my paper, I have put lots of efforts, why should I pay the journal? And it's not like it's very monopoly, there are only 5, 10, 15 journals. There are hundreds of journals. Why should we be focusing on that? So please, go on. What is significant impact? Why the journal should publish your paper? Ask yourself. If you think that you have right answer for it, ask your colleague, ask your supervisor, ask your anyone in the research actually you follow. That can you please read my paper, review my paper. Okay, so rejection, desk rejection is also one of the topic actually. That's why I was talking to these 2 girls this morning. The research is a very, very heavy and a long topic actually, which we cannot finish in next 30 days also. I tried my best. So 8 hours of flight, I was really focusing and working on these slides. So first thing, please don't miss tomorrow or day after actually. So you will be having only 20%. Why the journal should publish? Do you have something new in your paper? Okay. Do you have any novelty? Anything new which is not published before? If you are just repeating the same thing, you don't need. Even the newspaper also doesn't accept your newspaper article if you are repeating something. and we are talking about high impact journals, how they can. So you have to influence, you have to force them that this is not confirmed, this is not covered, this is new from my. Have you done something new? If you have an answer in the yes for these 4 questions, then it's probably yes. Is there anything challenging in your work? If you keep on saying, you know what is a literature review? It's a review of literature. It doesn't mean that we have to accept. Person A have covered this, person B have done this, person C has done this. So thank you. Not a review of literature. Person A have done this, but left over this one. Didn't check this one. Check from that angle, not from this angle, which I am going to do. So that's a review actually. Rather than saying this one have done, this one have done, so what? We have to review, right? So is there anything challenging? Because what you are going to do, definitely day after tomorrow, the new person will say, this person have done this thing but left over this thing, because every research have a limitation. The last part of the research article, limitations with a future avenue, right? Because we cannot cover everything. We always have a limitations actually. Will your result influence the researcher? Influential. Have you provided solution to some difficult problems which you have identified? Because every research starts with a problem. If there is no problem to be solved, no research is required. Problem statement has to be very strong, concise, precise. Every word matters here. If you can't identify the right problem, we are not a researcher then. Actually, no research required because there's no problem. Right? If you have an answer to it, answer for this question and yes, then probably yes, your paper have some focus. Your paper should be submitted to right journal for a review purpose. But before the paper goes to the reviewers, actually, double blind, triple blind, etc., manager, editors, associate editors, editor-in-chief reviews your paper. That is this paper worthy to be reviewed or to be sent for the review? If any of the editorial board identified this paper is not good, okay, and rejected immediately from the desk, that's called desk rejection. Desk rejection is better than reviewer's rejection. Why? Because desk rejection comes within a 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 10 days. But the reviewers are taking 30 days, 40 days, 60 days. So if you are having the status of your paper in rejection after 60 days or within 10 days, which one you will accept? Within 10 days, as soon as possible, right? Because then you can identify where else I can submit. So when I'm submitting my paper, actually I have always a backup, at least option B. If paper doesn't go through, immediately overnight I can move to the other journal. Why to waste time? Okay, but thanks God, with the passage of time with this process, we have identified at least the paper shouldn't be rejected. Or paper shouldn't be rejected from a reviewer. So normally reviewer have a few options. Reject immediately, minor review, major review, or subject to resubmission with a major reviews. The best accepted without any changes, which never happens. Minor changes, major changes, that's the worst thing actually which we expect, but we expect at least not rejection. Changes, of course. I have one paper in a Q1 ESCI, Journal of Ecotourism. I have submitted 6 versions, 6 revision actually. Still paper is not accepted. 23 months. I will show on the last day. 23 months, paper is not accepted yet. 6 revision means first time I submitted, 2 months I got major revision from 3 reviewers and editorial comments. Revised, submitted again. Second, third, fourth, fifth, Six one just last week we have submitted. We are just hoping. Finally submitted sixth version, but we no result yet. So I was expecting that this trip to Tashkent will be some fruitful. I will pray some wars around. But could be. Publishing in a high impact journals, high impact factors. High impact journals have a very low acceptance, of course. Most of the high impact journals have acceptance of below 10%. It means below 10 papers out of hundreds. 7 papers, 8 papers out of 100. I have met a number of editor-in-chief of the most prestigious journals. I asked why your acceptance level is so low. They said we have limitations. In a year we can publish only 70 papers, 80 papers. Okay, only 3 issues of 1 volume or 2 issues. And we are receiving 10,000 papers. Because every paper, every issue of the journal costs them, it's not free. And they are not asking money to the authors because everyone is not going for open access. Everyone is not going for APC journals. If my research costs me money, it means I'm not a worthy researcher. But my research costs me money, not to publish. We have identified different sources to publish open access. Yes. So if my paper is good, I know where to find the funding of $4,000 to make my paper open access. Why I'm making my papers open access, I will tell you. Okay, paper is openly available for anyone to download, and then PhD students, legal researcher, or anyone who is reading my paper and citing me. Citation works for me. Wonderful. So open access. But she wants to use my paper, but she doesn't have access. And universities have also limitation. Cannot access to every paper, every journal, every publisher. Okay. So that's the thing. We are spending money on polishing our papers. English is not my mother tongue, or it's not my first language. I use number of softwares to improvise the paper nicely, such as the Grammarly and so on. So I will be sharing few tips for that. But we send paper for proofreaders. Proofreaders actually, the perfect proofreaders actually. Okay, because we don't see our own silly errors in our writing. Proofreaders, they are perfect, they are professional. Their main job is proofreading. Even sometimes I send my paper to one of the colleagues in English department, English teacher, English lecturer actually. Within 1 hour, the entire paper is red color. So she becomes my English teacher. Hitesh, what to do? I said, that's the reason I gave you. To do some post-mortem. Say very silly error. I say, yeah, but I can't see. For me, my work is perfect. That's a human nature. Extremely competitive environment. I mentioned 80 papers only out of 10,000. So definitely those 80 papers will be not a butter, not a cream, something very highly impactful. And when I read the paper, actually, yes, I'm too low. I don't know when I will reach to this level. But I know most of the authors also who have published in a recent issue. Then I say, wow, English is not your mother tongue like me. How come you can write so beautifully? We use lots of tactics. We use lots of proofreaders actually. I write in a very layman order. But have you seen who was the co-author? He's from US. He's from UK. They improvise. Have you seen the one of the professor as a co-author also? He used his knowledge also to beautify that paper. And then finally we send to the proofreader. Because we are not relying on that American or British native also. Because English is their mother tongue or their main language, but not academic language. So proofreader does their job perfectly. For that, we have to spend money. But then again, if you are paying money from your wallet, then you are not a researcher. So for us, it's not, as a researcher, our job is not only to write the paper, to find the funding also. So it's like I have my idea ready, but I'm looking for investor who I can sell my idea. No, I'm not selling my idea. I'm convincing that I will acknowledge that this funding came from this institution for this job. Acknowledgement of that in my paper, that's it. So it can come from university, it can come from ministry, it can come from any outsource, but not from my pocket actually, because I have very limited salary and I have a 3 dependent at home. Okay, because research wants time, research wants energy, research wants money. So to create a nice ecosystem of research in the university, we have a number of initiatives also. So whoever wants proofreading in my faculty, I can sponsor. $350 for each paper. So we have allocated certain budget, but not those who are actively publishing. Those who want to publish very newly, those who are early career researchers, to just convince them, to motivate them, just focus on your paper. Not, you don't need to find some resources or the funders for this. And also number of other initiatives. Okay, impact factor. Publish the paper and impact factor. So the master was asking, what is the impact factor? 0.0000, I don't know, it's in millions or billions in a negative. I think it's high. Actually, it's a joke. I don't know why you guys are so serious about it. Okay. Impact factor, even though it's a 0.00000 out of 10 0 then 1, still is considered impact factor. There are so many journals actually which doesn't have any impact.
And on what it impacts?
Sorry?
Impact factor, the name, yeah?
Yes.
On what and how it can impact?
It's coming
What
actually.
is the name?
Impact factor of a journal is the recognition to the journal. As a researcher, I have published 10 papers, okay? But no one have cited my paper. Means citation, means I didn't get any citation yet. But I have only published. After citing, I can say, yes, I have published 10 papers, but 9 of my papers got this number of citation. So citation for the journal, citations creates the impact factor. How many papers are published, how many times they are cited, and so on. So if you are publishing the very first paper, any of the impact is in fact.
Doesn't matter, numbers doesn't matter.
It really matters if you are publishing of, like, suppose 15th of your paper, then of course this matters. But if you are publishing first or second paper of your life, any, because at least you are publishing an impact factor journal rather than a non-index journal.
But we have requirements like this high. And we have journals with like this impact factor of 20 or 50.
You are a PhD student of hospitality and tourism, right? Identify which journal has a 50 impact factor. There's no one.
No. 0.10.
I saw like this
Maybe
journal
30.
certificate that they have money and it's
See, every institution, every university used to have a policy. Okay, I'm not here to question your policies. Okay, our university have a policy. If you are on a scholarship of a university, you have to publish minimum 2 index papers. Okay, because I was in a committee to fight for it, rather than talk about impact factor, just talk about index paper. Index can be a Scopus index, it can be a Web of Science. Okay, doesn't matter because all the journals, there are so many new journals in Scopus, they doesn't have an impact factor. So impact factor comes with the time. It doesn't come with the like you have published the very first paper last month and you are keep on looking at your Google Scholar. Why the citation is not coming? It will come. But what exactly you have done for your paper? How many people have read your paper? They have just read the paper but did not find anything in the paper. They didn't use your paper in their research. So why should we publish in a high impact journal? Sharing with the academic community your novelty, ideas, research findings and you on. That's why I ask you how many of you are active on LinkedIn. So if you are active on LinkedIn or not active on LinkedIn, if you are not, please do so. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, please create by today. Okay, and you will find out that most of the researchers, when they publish the paper, they summarize in one of the nice posts make on the LinkedIn. Because they are informing to the community, to the followers, that we have published this paper. Not everyone has interest in that paper, but there will be some. Even a 1% of the community, that's in hundreds, that's in thousands. And you know, hashtag this, hashtag this. What is this hashtag story? Why we are using the hashtag? To boost, because those are the keywords actually. Right? This morning also I have posted something on Facebook. The journey from airport to the hotel yesterday, nice view. And then it took me 5 minutes to identify what can be the right keywords actually. Okay. And thousands time actually people have used the Tashkent, but beautiful Tashkent rather than only Tashkent.
If I understood correctly, then before submitting or during the process, the journal can check our LinkedIn accounts before.
Journal doesn't have time to check your LinkedIn account. Why you want the journal to check your LinkedIn account?
Then only for followers, we
Yes, for followers actually. That the paper, once the paper is published, then we summarize the paper in one of the posts actually. I will be sharing my LinkedIn account. I will show you guys actually, maybe later, the next half of the day. Then we just post, okay, the paper is published, then just summarize, this is the paper, these are the keywords. Thank you, editor, thank you, managing editor, thank you, reviewers. And then we are doing some sort of publicity that, and then people get aware of our paper and people cite our paper. So that is about our publicity, about getting the citation actually. That's why I asked, last month you published the paper, but where is the visibility of that paper actually? We have to create our own marketing. And there are different platforms actually where we are doing some sort of marketing publicity, that we are creating the awareness. We are finding the actual buyers of our paper. Okay, it is not necessary that your supervisor have interest in my paper, but if you are under one of the supervisor who is supervising 10 students, okay, so keep this paper can be a right paper for my one of the students. Send the link. Your job, if you follow or not. Permanent positions, get invited speakers in a renowned conferences or even help to get the prestigious grants. Now, LinkedIn profile, actually the journals are not checking, but different associations, different ministries, so many people are really checking, especially the private fundings. They do check. They do check thoroughly that you are expert of what. You have applied for this grant of 1 million euro. You have capacity. What else you have done previously? How many papers you have published and in what journals? You have in application you have promised too much. They do check the profile. That's why I said especially the LinkedIn, not the Facebook. Facebook is a purely personal life. LinkedIn is a professional. Advance your academic life and career. Here I want to say, as mentioned earlier, that COVID-19 was so beautiful and positive for me, yes, because I open up for these invitations actually, because when we are now, immediately after COVID-19, we have started traveling, but during COVID-19, there are 2 years actually, where we were not supposed to travel, we were not allowed to travel, we couldn't travel, because travel involves cost. But more than a cost is the time actually. How to take 3 days, 4 days, 5 days off from the actual work. So how to offer these keynotes and guest speeches. So during COVID, it was fine, 1 hour, online, Zoom, done. And this creates a visibility also. So there was a time once I was done with one talk, and the same evening I received another invitation. And that invitation, that talk delivery ended up with few other. Okay. Number of PhD students, number of professors also contacts. Wow, wonderful. You were talking about something. Can we start some research in this area? Can we have some sort of comparative study of Indian and Malaysian market? Why not? So within 2 years of COVID-19, I did more than 100 talks actually. And I'm so grateful actually that COVID-19 happened. But of course, for so many people, COVID-19 was a nightmare. Actually, people lost their job, people lost loved one. Of course, we lost few in my family. And not that close one. But in the family we lost. But again, it's a positive and negative actually. Everything has pros and cons. Get cited in other groundbreaking papers. The paper is okay paper, my paper. So many paper, because every paper cannot be a good paper actually. Okay, one paper received only 7 citation, whereas the other paper received 87 citation. Okay, so okay, you are looking at the 87 citation, but you forgot to check which year that paper was published. That 7 citation one paper was just published 2 months back. 87 one, 7 years back. So time takes also. And also, when you are referring about your paper actually which have received 7 citation, out of those 7 citation, 2 citation came from those papers which will be the world class paper in next 1 year. Because when we review paper, when we read paper actually, after reading the abstract, I go to the conclusion. After going to the conclusion, I go to the references. That's why we have a highlighter or on the PDF file, okay, which paper I need to read, because from there I will identify 5 to 8, 10 papers, good papers which can be useful for me. Reaching to the main source, which were cited in that paper which I have reviewed recently. And also, 80 papers are getting published out of those 10,000, right? But how many papers you are reviewing as a reviewer? So if you are well known in that particular area, then definitely associate editor, managing editor will be inviting you to review that paper. And when we review, we enhance our knowledge. Literally, for the last 2 weeks, I have 17, 18 papers on my list, which I received, I accepted, but no time to review. But reading the paper is a wonderful job, because we are reading. Wow, something new is happening in this area. And also, as per my knowledge, this shouldn't be actually. So we comment. On that basis, we say major review, minor review, or rejection, or shouldn't be published in this journal at all, because it's contradictory with the focus, the aim of the journal. We have one topic to cover, that how to identify the journal, to avoid the rejections. Index and rank journals. So when we talk about index, hello.
Can we have 5 minutes break?
Sure. Thanks for allowing me. How are you? Thanks for coming.
I'm so blessed. Come here for one, anyone here as well?
Let's take a 5-6 minute break, then. No, I got yeah, Saturday.
Не, ну так много сегодня. Можно просто сказать. Запас среда на уровне. Доверие всем.
Actually, we were outside. Maybe that's the afternoon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so usually we have like at night, maybe.
Yeah, inside.
And how would your they have something called and you sleep well.
I don't know, I just woke up, I woke up at 4:30 first.
Yeah.
7:30.
In couple of days, you will
Yeah. Ready, 8:30 when I got the message. Then we went for registration process. Registration was very fast. Registration. Even the pick up the documents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and 1 year. My colleague, we are just lost one way. My and now I'm
In that is
I was talking about the context, actually how we get the context. I think some mutual friend in between, and then I saw she's from tourism background, she was working in Manchester. So we created our own networks actually, so like we are connected now definitely, because these networks need lots of opportunities for us. So that they are people from ministry, people from other universities. Maybe there are avenues, maybe research, maybe some projects, maybe this type of regulations, everything works.
So again, I saw the point and I was my role from tourism, and he came also to Tashkent.
Yes.
Last month. invited him to Islamic University. Was supervised by Islamic University.
It's not a university, actually, always there will be someone like TVI, I don't think so, but I was, we were in contact. Then she saw my profile, she has posted my profile to the committee, and then it's always linkage the person. So, because people work in those institutions, right? So when person pursues something, then it works.
Yes, definitely. Fazan Ali, he's from, yeah. Who is?
FSU.
Yes, our committee also was in charge of. It was the group of invited some special people. 1 week workshops, lectures.
And I saw this Simulation University this time.
Yes, about the conference. Yes. Yes.
Adobe Academy.
Adobe.
So are we meaning Adobe?
Yes, yes. We organize a meeting for our partner organizations with the department. Academy, National University of Economics, University of some university that demands. Yes, еще, по-моему, ЦАУ, это Дани Кислука. Нет. Я не знаю. Нет, you're also not you. Are asking?
Yeah.
Yes. Bill was a small city, but now it's small.
I had my supervisor, she's from India, Dr. Smara, and she told everything that she told today about submission, about payment. If my paper is pretty good, I can publish freely. Exactly the same information. No.
That's why we never use the jacket secretary. I have a feel, but we never use. I use only when I'm traveling in Europe or Pakistan, December. It's very cold. December, month of November, December, January. It's very cold. Some areas have snow also. But Malaysia, we never use when this cold is also sometimes the room is high, we cannot just pick up. Humid. What? Let the wind come nicely.
Yesterday you brought from the US.
That's why I got that boat also, the jacket. Was the same. Because even this morning also, I went for breakfast at 30 of my.
Yes.
After breakfast, I just went out.
In the morning it's
I went out maybe for 1 minute and then that's all.
and you said I did the right decision.
Thank you, Rizu.
After dinner we went to supermarket most. No, not Tashkent City. Ego Bazaar, going to the bazaar. I saw the closest one. What can we call? Yes, so it's I know the jacket. It's minus temperature. Will take this cold. No, for business trips.
Like shoes, it depends. Normally, I check the weather 1 2 days before prediction. This year, I have so many trips. Especially the Croatia, May, in 2 months' time, I will be going to Croatia. That is very, because Philippines and Indonesia,
Yes.
and that is not there, weather is small. Same. Never go in a negative.
I work here and I'm a PhD researcher. Didn't I before for my master was in Chinese. And I really because for me, it's very clear. It's okay. But is it up to 30?
Strategy. After completing 8 years, you will have lots of networks. When you have only job of research, then you can see that is not sufficient. I mean, as of research, I don't understand how to write. For PhD, either master's or PhD, so 1 semester master, 1 semester PhD. Only for 7 weeks. 4 hours per week, so teaching is very related. Focus on so many other things. I'm sure I have evidence and I will show my evidence actually those papers which I have received minor, major, how to deal with those papers, how to respond the review documents. So I spend lots of time on designing these documents. When we go for this type of workshop, we make sure that you get the enough information actually. If you are not getting then what is the point of after this also, after this workshop also, you will be following my LinkedIn or you can contact me through my email if you have any issues. We can also have online meetings. anything, just you know how to
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. We had a nice tea and a break. So let's come back to the business. Index and rank journals. We are keep on talking about index journals, impact factor journals. So indexing, what exactly is indexing and how does it work actually? Mainly indexing is in Scopus or Web of Science. Okay. So those who are very new to the research actually just focus on Scopus. It's slightly easier to get in. Web of Science, I won't say it's not accomplished, it's not possible. Everything is possible. Okay. But start from the basic one. There are some journals actually which are Scopus and the Web of Science. There are some journals which are just Web of Science. There are some journals which are just as Scopus. Mainly journals are Scopus. Okay. Some good prestigious journals goes on Web of Science. Under the Web of Science, there are two categories: SSCI and ESCI. SSCI, Social Science Citation Indicators. ESCI, Emerging Science. So emerging comes before being the SSCI. So first you are a Scopus, then you apply for ESCI, then you go for SSCI. But there are some good journals where they are not Scopus, they are just directly to ESCI, then SSCI also. So it's fine. We are not a managing editor of the journal. We are researcher. We are authors actually. So our job is to write the paper and find the right journal to submit actually. Of course, finding the right journal, how? It is not only okay, the top journal in tourism. You will cry. Okay, you will cry. But after some time, you will enjoy that cry as well.
After the getting.
Depends that you cried because of happiness, because of sorrows, or because sadness, my paper is rejected, crying. Happy crying also. Literally. Rejection is never positively accepted. I don't like rejection. But after some time, you will used to. Okay. Every day I'm getting rejection, so it doesn't matter. But now I'm so happy that there are always a weeks. Every week we are getting accepted. We are getting minor review. We are getting major review. Once a while, after 6 months, rejection. Never mind. Okay. Call a team meeting. Call a Zoom meeting actually immediately actually within 30 minutes because paper is rejected, right? What are the comments? What is the option B? When I told you earlier, when we are submitting to the journal A, we immediately identify what is the option B. In the case it's rejected, go for option. That time we are not finding because finding the suitable journal also takes time. Most of the time, most of the students, they are so in a rush, they don't find the right journal. They just submit. They don't read the journal details again. And when you rush in submitting, rejection comes very in rush. Even the associate editor, because their job is to deal the journals, deal with the paper. Within 48 hours, they are sending back. You want your paper to be rejected, or you come back within 48 hours, or come back within 40 days, 50 days, 60 days with a major comment? Which one you like? Second option. Within 2 months they are coming, sending the paper with lots of comments. Lots of comments. Good actually, at least paper is not rejected. So instead, we have to spend time on finding the right journal. So finding the right journal, the very first one is indexing. Okay. If you just want to submit to any journal, then you are not in the right business. Okay, change your profession. Even the marketer, even the manufacturer of any product actually, they know who is my target audience. No, any of the product actually, they know what is the target audience for them actually. Everyone, they came up with this pouch and then they went to the market. Who can be the right audience for this? Medical doctor, engineer, lecturer, student. If student, what level of student? Infants, going to the primary, going to the reception, nursery, going to the university. Have to identify the target audience because the journals have their own target. When you are searching the journal to publish your paper, the same way during your PhD, you are identifying the journal, which journal is good, where I can find the most of my the area related paper. You are not going in an engineering journal. If someone is having ecotourism or economic impact based papers, economic impact, tourism economics is the best journal. Ecotourism, preserves, nature-based, national parks, these are the key areas. And there are more than 20 journals actually in Elsevier, in Emerald, Talis Francis actually. Just use the keyword to identify the journal. Yes.
What if my thesis topic is related to standards?
Related to
Standard.
What is?
International standard. National standard.
international standard. Are you in a tourism facility?
Qualification standards.
If you don't use the word of tourism and hospitality in your title, if you just focus on qualification or standard, then for me it's more towards interdisciplinary research. Okay, and qualification standards, you have to find the journals, but it doesn't mean that you have one or two identified journal every paper you cite or you read from that journal. No, it's not necessary actually. But within 5 minutes we can identify some good journals for you. We have some tips and tricks. If you don't get the answer for your question today, you don't let me go. Why we are finding the right journal and the good journal, the impact factor journals, index journals? Because of few reasons: increased visibility and accessibility. Index and database like Scopus, Web of Science ensures the research is discovered by wider audience. When you are finding the paper for your research, where you are finding actually? Most of the time we go to the Google Scholar. Okay. But why Google Scholar? Why don't you go on the website of Scopus? We go on the Web of Science also, because immediately we can understand what is the ranking of that journal also. The paper which is published in that particular journal, what is the ranking? Quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, quartile 4, Q1 to Q4 also. These databases are widely used by researchers to conduct literature review, identify the relevant studies and so on. This is the layout of Web of Science. Search journal, any particular journal, or the paper, you have the title, just search. It will come. Here we have a filter also. What level of the paper or the journal you are searching? You want only SSCI, ESCI and so on. Why? Because I have identified one journal, but I want to know more about that journal. Okay, this is the best place. or I don't have a particular journal in my mind, but I have some key areas, keywords with me. So I want to filter out at least a few journals, 4-5 journals. And then I will be going to the home page of that journal to understand what is the focus of that journal, what is the target audience of that journal, because every journal doesn't accept everything.
They have requirements, they have their specifics.
Let me use simple example. I'm a shopkeeper. Do you have 7-Eleven here?
No.
No,
But you understand 7-Eleven, right?
cheapest market.
Cheapest.
Cheaper. Not cheapest.
Wrong word. Convenient shop is the right word. Cheapest is the wrong word actually.
Just Korean shop.
Convenient shop. Okay, okay. Convenient shop sells convenient items actually. It can drinkable, eatable, smokable, and so on. This and that, chocolates, etc., etc. Why don't they sell TVs? Why don't they sell mobile laptops? These. Why don't they?
Isn't the permission for sale?
They cannot.
One thing is permission. Second thing,
They cannot.
actually the customers are not coming to buy TV or laptop to 7-Eleven. They know that it's a convenient shop. For buying the water bottle is the 7-Eleven the best place. Finding the TV, authentic TV showroom, or those big markets who are selling this electronic item. Okay, now replace 7-Eleven with journals. And you are the consumer. So journals are not selling or publishing or not accepting everything. They have limited focus. This. Tomorrow, actually day after tomorrow, we will be focusing more on methodology, qualitative and quantitative, right? And mixed method. Every journal doesn't accept qualitative. Every journal doesn't accept quantitative. And there are so many journals which it doesn't accept mixed method. We have empirical paper, we have a review paper, we have conceptual paper, we have theory-based paper. Variety of papers. Every journal doesn't accept everything. If you have to understand what is the type of paper you have written and you are submitting to the wrong shop, it means you are you are a shopkeeper, you are a manufacturer of a TV and you are trying to convince the 7-Eleven, keep my TVs with you, the customer will come and buy from you. And he is keep on saying, no, customer doesn't come to buy TV at 7-Eleven. Does this example works?
Yeah.
So we have to find the right shop to sell our products. Then for the scopus, we have just keywords to understand, to identify some suitable journals. And in the filter, we have a Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 journals. What is quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, quartile 4? Under the scopus, under the Web of Science, this quartile works. If it's from backward, Q4 is the lowest, Q3 lowest, then 2 higher than 4, and the highest one is Q1. SSCI Q1 drain. SSCI Q2 drain. Scopus Q1 regular business. So just catch the words what I'm saying actually. So it's drain means we have to really struggle. Remember that 6th version of my paper. So drain means which comes through sometime only, not always. Regular business means with a little struggle, okay, push here, push there, possible. Q1 represents the top 25% of the journals in the subject area. Social science, tourism, leisure science, 25%. Q2 the next 25 and then next 25 and the following 25. Significant, the quartile ranking provides a measure of a journal influence of prestige. Every year this ranking is changing. Okay. Last year I published in Q1. Bad luck, this year those journals are in Q2. I submitted the paper in Q2. It took 6 months. And I'm so happy. Once I got the acceptance, immediately it was in Q1. So pray hard. And luck also works. But doesn't matter. If this business is keep on going up and down, that's not our job. Those, because earlier I also focused on why we need to publish in a good journal. Okay. So academicians, your interviewer in the future will be also checking. Wow, you have just published in Q3. But if he has a little knowledge, he should understand that that paper was published 3 years back. And 3 years back, that journal was Q1. Now it's Q3. It's not your fault. So you have to. And also works that how beautifully you are explaining that particular entry in your CV. You can explain, I'm a student in a simple 3 words. You can explain, I'm a student of this, if this is this, under the funding of this, nice paragraph. It depends, how do you sell yourself? If you explain yourself in a nice paragraph, you are reducing the opportunities of other questions. If you just said, I'm a student, where? Who's funding? Full-time, part-time? Which year right now? Which discipline?
It's better.
Polish it, simplify it. One. How to find? You can find Scopus quartile ranking through the Scopus database itself or the Simigo journals. Scopus, or there is a website, Simigo, where you can also identify. But don't rely on Simigo, because Simigo updates 1 year later. Yeah, maybe my pronunciation.
They just explaining the
Show us these words on screen.
SCI.
So this one, this Smigo journals, actually this updates 1 year later about the ranking of the journal. So right now, if you search for any other journal, if it's a Q2 actually, it doesn't mean that it's a Q2 right now. It's a Q2 for the last year. So don't rely on that. It's a better to go to the Scopus website. There are so many journals which are Scopus, but they have mentioned the Scopus status on their website. Don't rely on that also. Go back to the Scopus website and find out and search about that journal, making sure that it is in Scopus or not. Because this Scopus status is also changing. Last year it was, now it's not. Now it's not, next year it will be. So when you are submitting the paper, find the status at that time. What is the current status? Is it Scopus or not? Okay, so you will be safe if you do this practice. Why? Students have a graduation requirement, minimum Scopus index publication for us. Okay, so the student have submitted the paper in a Scopus index journal. Paper was accepted, everything after 8 months. 8 months means a year was changed already. Okay, and the journal lost the status of Scopus. So student still can fight with the university, or not fight, can justify the position. Sorry, I submitted to Scopus index, but while I got the acceptance, it was changed. So everything what you do, make sure that you work fully. So it's saved actually. So here the Scopus where we can see the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, quartile 1 till quartile 4. So just put the keywords and you just want to find such as national parks, reserved areas, preserved areas. These are the keywords actually. But you want to identify only Q1 journal. Just click the Q1, filter it, or Q2. Sometimes the journal we know, but we are not clear actually that is it Q1 or Q2. Okay, we just search here. We just go to the title, title of the journal or title of the ministry. Then it's the journal. Then the title, the actual name of the journal. Then we search through this. Just using this filter, it's quite friendly and it's user friendly and quite convenient and quite easy. Why we are talking about index publication? I started today with my university ranking. So I need to spare a few minutes on this. This is my profile. Actually, my profile means my job, head of research of FSLM, Faculty of Social Sciences and Leisure Management, which is top 20 in the world. So it's not really easy. It took lots of sleepless nights, hard works, and fighting with the top management that we should have enough of budgets and resources because research is not free job. Second, staff keep on complaining, very busy with the teaching. So when busy with the teaching, how we can expect the publication from? Not everyone is busy, but busyness with the teaching become a normal excuse. So checking the profile of each and every staff. Alter the KPI accordingly. So the last year we published 273 index papers, whereas in the Q1 102, Q2 3 and 4, 129 non-index papers. Non-index papers means which are not Scopus or not Web of Science, but we still value those non-index because not necessarily every staff is a researcher or good researcher, but they started from somewhere. Good. And also there are so many disciplines where the journals are very competitive. So, but there are a number of magazines, newspapers, articles also are considered as a non-index. Why we value? Because under MIRA, the research profile which we submit to the ministry, they also take care of this non-index. So for that, we need to be counted. Top publication, total publications, Scopus. Under the Scopus, you can see 266 publications. Under the Web of Science, 173 publications. So these publications came from the staff of my faculty. Okay. So these 402 publications actually, this is the one which contributes to the ranking of the university, ranking of the discipline at the Asia level as well as at the world level. Also the citations, 260 staff, only 78 staff have contributed with one or few publications. Total citation received for those staff 500 plus. So everything what our staffs are doing, we are making sure that it's counted. Because it is not individual job, it's a collective efforts. And here SIMACO journals are the one which we were talking about, the SIMACO. It's a very, very beautiful website, but for the beginners. But don't rely on this because this updates the data only for 1 year later. Through this actually you can list down or filter out what discipline is yours. You want in a social science, you want in a medicine, you want in a business management, then subcategory, then all regions means all the journals in that particular discipline, subcategory, tourism, leisure and hospitality management. In the world, or you want Asian journal, you want European journal, you want Australian journal, you want Middle Eastern journal, you want African journals. From which year to which year? Okay, you will have the listing. Documents, so with the United States, there are almost 20,000 documents available. But this one is just a home page actually. Once we filter out, then we will. Second one is Web of Science. Just now we were talking about Scopus. Web of Science is the second best indexing. Web of Science is another major citation indexing. Works on journal's impact factor, JIF. To assess the journal influence which is published in the journal's citations reports. Means how many papers were published, how many papers are cited, what is the frequency. JIF is widely recognized metrics of the journal impacts. For the journal, it is very important that the journal will be in ESCI for how long, or it should be moved to SSCI. SSCI is a Q2, it can be moved to Q1, or from Q1 it can move to Q2. As mentioned, every year it's changing. So this JIF is also being calculated every year. So at the end of the day, citation of the journal. So that's the reason we want, as a researcher, we want to publish the most established journal, because they confirms that we will have the citation. So it's same thing like you want to open a restaurant, you can open a restaurant with your name, or you can get the fast food franchise. Open a restaurant with your name, you have to put efforts for marketing, for the publicity, convincing, bringing the traffic. Okay, but McDonald's, Pizza Hut, KFC, you don't need to put even a single efforts on the marketing. You have to just get the franchise. Okay, and they are confirming that you will have the business. You identify this location, they will come and do survey. No, this location is not right. Why not right? Because we confirm that you won't have a business and you will destroy our name. So they do R&D before confirming. So these journals are confirming actually that how many citations you will get, how many people are reading, how many people are downloading, how many people are reviewing, and so on. Because the platform is already well established. This Q1, Q2 business, the job, the game goes on, doesn't matter. How to find? You can assess JIF and quartile ranking through the JCR database and so on. Next is ABDC. As we all are from social science, in Asia, normally we follow either Web of Science, either Scopus. ABDC is the most established, especially for Australia. That's a big question. What is this ABDC stands for? Okay, so it started from Australia, but in number of other countries it's being, we can say, when the KPIs are set for the university actually, they always follow one type of indexing. They cannot follow all. Otherwise, as a researcher, as a staff of the university, I'm so lost actually. Should I focus on Scopus, Web of Science, ABDC? Because one journal which I have identified, not necessary, is listed in all. ABDC, A category. Scopus, yes. Web of Science, Q2. So, when you are going to assess my KPI, how? ABDC should come first or Scopus should come first? Web of Science should come first. So every university normally they have one category, one criteria to assess actually. ABTC Journal Quality List provides a ranking of business and management journals. So business dean. So I advise not to go for this because you guys are not a business student or business researcher. You are from social science, especially hospitality and tourism. Web of Science works wonderful. If you are early career, then Scopus works wonderful. Yes, please.
And I have a question. Are you motivated by your university authorities to publish such kind of paper? How do you motivate? Are you motivated, or do they motivate you? Or it's only your research, your analysis which you would make contribution?
University always motivates. But also earlier this morning I mentioned that we have to motivate ourselves also. That thing, enthusiasm should come from yourself. I work for the university's objectives, but ultimately I accomplish my own objective. My KPI is set in a way that I have to work on it. And this is the thing actually which I will be carrying forward with me wherever I go. So today I'm with Taylors, maybe after 10 years I'm not with Taylors, but these papers will be under my name. Okay. And also these papers help us to get the QS ranking and lots of other profiles actually, the image of the university, image of the faculty, image of my boss. So ultimately everything is captured. But of course, for motivation, there are so many which are not motivated yet. I struggle a lot, almost more than 12 months, and still they are rigid with their excuse of very busy. That's why out of 260 staff, only 78 staff are contributing. So just consider if 50 of the total staff are contributing, 500 is nothing. So target of 2 papers each staff. Okay. So there are some actually which are fulfilling the target of more than 15 staff, those publishing 30 papers. But those staff which are not contributing for research, they are contributing in so many other areas. Okay. They are creating IPs, intellectual properties, copyrights, patents. They are getting a small level of grants, internal, external, private, public, national, foreign. They are getting endorsements, they are getting donations, they are having number of events, they are having consultancies. So it's a cumulative effort. You are not publishing, but you are doing this. So at least you are safe. So not everyone can do everything. So KPI shouldn't be set in everything actually. We are not interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary. When we are multidisciplinary person, actually then we are multitask. We can do. But multidisciplinary means 20 different things are in KPI. You are locked person. Focus. You focus. You are so good at this, just do this thing. So when my hobby become my job, wonderful. I enjoy what I do. Rather than my hobby is doing something and you are forcing me to do this thing. So when we hire the person also, that's why the criteria is quite difficult, very complicated, because we want the right person in our team. And we promise that what you are good with, we assess, and we just say, okay, you like this thing, we want only this thing from you. That's it. He is happy, we are happy, accomplished. Motivation.
Thank you.
Impact measurement. Impact of journals, impact of a person, indexing, database provides metrics like citation counts, impact factors, which allows researchers to assess the impact of their work and the influence the journal in which they publish. Actually, it's a both ways. The researcher, good researchers wants to publish in a good journals. And good journals also want the good researcher to keep on publishing. But when someone, a legal researcher, a good researcher submit the paper, there is no guarantee that paper will be published or paper will be accepted. There are so many high level, high profile researchers, actually, the gurus. Okay. Editor-in-chief of one highly ranked journal got a rejection from another highly ranked journal. Possible. Because editor-in-chief knows or associated editor knows that who have submitted this paper, what are the names. But when they send the paper for review, it's a blind review. And you know what is a blind? Reviewer are not blind.
They don't know the author, but they review
The
paper.
blind is a double blind means 2 reviewer. Triple blind means 3 reviewer. So reviewer are blind only with the names, actually, names of the authors, that whose paper is this. So they don't know either the girl from Tashkent have sent the paper, who is doing PhD, or Dr. Nelofar have sent the paper, who is a recognized researcher in her field. They just evaluate the paper on the level of the paper, actually, what is in front of them. It can be a rejection, minor, major, depends on the reviewer mood also. Okay. If I start reading the paper while I'm reviewing, actually, if I'm lost, if I don't like the paper, because the first 1 minute is important. Sometimes the paper is very interesting. It's making some sense. Okay, so already I have made my mind. Okay. So even though in that paper I will be giving some minor, because I enjoyed the paper, means connectivity. And the things are missing, I can suggest in a minor, okay, add on, correct, this, and done. But sometimes the paper is from the starting. Also depends on my day also, how many tasks I need to finish, how many review I have done. Sometimes it takes 1 hour to review, sometimes it takes 5 minutes to review. So in 5 minutes, what we are going to do, that also depends on the mood of the reviewer. This indexing, navigating the scholarly landscape. So, when you are publishing in a good journals, that's why don't go out of your profile, don't go out of your discipline, don't publish in social science interdisciplinary journal. Focus on hospitality and tourism only. The journal name should have hospitality and tourism rather than social science. Social science is very huge. Tourism and hospitality is just a small subsector.
It's more opportunities, yeah.
You can publish in those journals maybe after 10 years, once the world knows you. Actually, after that time, you won't like even. But don't go for those journals, even though you have higher opportunities that your paper will be accepted. But don't. You don't understand that loss which you are making for your future, actually. Because focus, I have in my list 50 journals. I don't go here, I don't go there, only 50. Mixture of Q1 to Q4 journals. Why? Because I have to play my game within those journals only. Interdisciplinary we don't like. I will be questioned why you publish in that. When this paper fits well to the tourism economics. Because it clears the formula landscape. My profile. What I did. So if you ask me, explain my research profile in the next 5 minutes. This indexing and ranking system help researchers and institutions to navigate the large amount of scholarly information available. Tourism review. One of the great journal. From the title itself, tourism review. should be accepting the review, conceptual, literature-based, theoretical paper, yes, but they also accept empirical paper with data. But there are so many other journals which doesn't accept, which only focus on quantitative empirical papers. No research note. And this shows the citation or impact factor for SSCI. This is available on each journal which have the impact factor, which have started receiving the citation, which are indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. Okay, we work on this. 5 years impact factor, last year impact factor. Sorry, it's not updated for 2024 because I had this slide actually, which I used last year. And also, it's very early of this year. Not sure all the journals have updated. That's H index. H index. This is, you know, do you apply makeup?
Of course,
Why?
I feel more confident.
Confidence. Thank you. So for me, for a researcher, makeup is this.
H index.
For a researcher, this is a cosmetic. Thank you for acknowledging that makeup gives you confidence. So every night I have a few steps before I hit the bed or before I doze off. Okay, check my LinkedIn, check my social Facebook, and check my Google Scholar. So I have on homepage Google Scholar. When I'm free, I just Google. I make sure that this goes up. Also checking how many citations I received today, how many citations I received this week, how many citations I received in the last month. From where? Who has cited my paper? And for every entry, we are getting a notification in Gmail. I have a separate account for that. Why? Because tracking who are taking care of your work, who are acknowledging your work. See, someone have liked my paper, read my paper, downloaded the paper, cited my paper. I should be thankful. They are making my profile. Right? And some papers, most of the papers are not available freely because old papers actually, where we were having a struggle to find funding for open access. How many of you know about ResearchGate? It's a platform, not social media. Social media for your research. Papers, yes. So when the paper is published, I forget everything, immediately update few profiles.
I have only 12 cited.
Sorry? Because you are not an active researcher, probably. You have lots of other important things actually in your plate. You are in a management, you are managing different things actually, that's your probably KPI or profile. Okay. So this H index actually, so when we talk about the person actually, we talk about, okay, apply for associate professor, what? We ask about age after asking about, because this number, I'm quantitative researcher, we deal with numbers. How it's being calculated? I have 100 plus paper on Google Scholar, but
H index is 17.
yeah, it means what? It represents the number of publications that have received at least number of citation. Minimum 17 citation. But I have a number of papers which have 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus citation also. Minimum 17. So those which papers are on a 14, 15, 16, if I have get few more citation, index will increase. Also when the paper is accepted, when the paper is published, actually we update our research gate, we update our Google Scholar. If it's not auto updated, we update our Web of Science. If it's a Web of Science journal, we update our Scopus. If it's a Scopus, and there are few LinkedIn posts, publicity. We send here, we send there. We update also on our university profile for the staff, for the researchers. So paper is available. Why? Because we are greedy. This matrix can be used to evaluate the researcher's impact. You have published a paper in so good journal, but doesn't have an impact, so it cannot be a good journal. You asked me that, right? That 0.00001. Okay, it will have. You have published a paper, but you are hoping for the citation, and then you are questioning why I am not getting the citation. And when we talk about the citation, citation comes from the two ways. Either you self-cite, you cite your own work, or others cite. Please don't cite yourself. So, sorry?
Just that your topic is very rare in this field of study, and no one cites you.
Still you don't. You cannot, your study cannot be there.
No, they cite, if they use your article, you reference.
Cite score is another matrix that measures the average number of citations received per document in the journal. So, when we are searching the journal or the Scopus, we identified this particular journal we want to publish our paper. Minimum 15 citation every paper published in last year in this journal. So we are confirming it will be minimum 15, it can be more than 15 definitely, because this cite score should go up. So 711 is confirming the TV is not item which should be sold at 711. Water bottle, yes, any 10 different types of brands, water bottles are available, right? But those 10 brands are competing each other, no matter. Customer is different for each brand. For me, which one is the cheaper one? For her, oh, only Nestle brand. For him, bottle shape is so nice. Because these are the different ways how people get convinced to make the decision to buy the actual product. Okay, some are cost conscious, some are quality conscious, some are shape conscious, size and so on. So these journals are confirming. If it is calculated based on the data from the Scopus database, cite score is another journal level metrics. Using metrics widely. While impact metrics can provide valuable insights into the journal influence, they should not be sole factor in publishing decision. So just now I said citation, this cite factor. Normally we decide our journal decision, but please don't do. Whatever I'm suggesting, immediately I'm saying don't do. Why? Because not only this one, there should be 10 to 15 different criteria to find the journal, publish your video. Not only citation, not only cite factor, not only impact factor for last 3 years, 5 years, or last year only. How long it takes, the time from receiving the papers and making decision. some 37, average 37 days. It means within 37 days, you will have the first decision rejected, major, minor. Some 67 days, average time. It's not promised, it can be below or it can be slightly above also, average time. Paid journal or non-paid journal? You have funding. If you have funding also, don't just waste. Don't waste for something you won't get in return. So better go for Q4 index in open access rather than paying the APC for that journal. APC is article processing charges. Article publishing charges, processing, publishing something, publishing or processing. Why you want to publish in that journal? And what time you want to have a break? Let me know. Sorry? Maybe next 10-15 minutes. Using metrics wisely. While impact factors can provide valuable insights for the journal's influence, they should not be the sole factor in a publishing or making your decision. Only citation. Those we are, as a researcher, we are so greedy to get the citation. But consider the specific context of research and relevance to the journal. There are some interdisciplinary journal, multidisciplinary journal which accept, such as tourism interdisciplinary journal. Somewhere from European, Croatia, it's a Croatian journal.
Can we say that impact factor is a like guarantee for us if we can
Focus on science. Impact factor calculation, there are so many things which are considered. There are impact, editors, linkages, go for citation, how many papers, how many citations each paper received last year for that journal. That is bonus. So interdisciplinary journal, tourism interdisciplinary journal, they have the word tourism, but interdisciplinary also. If you want to publish your paper, such as from ecotourism, national parks, tourism, demand, supply, forecasting, don't select that journal. Don't select that journal. Why? Because it's a tourism interdisciplinary journal. Whatever the words I use, forecasting. Forecasting means something related to future. You are forecasting on the basis of trends. There are so many journals which are focusing specifically on this. And this is probably one of the basics of economics. Then why not tourism economics? So focus, aim and objective of the journal describes that what type of papers, what are the areas which we are accepting. Tourism interdisciplinary journal won't reject the paper because you are focusing on forecasting. Interdisciplinary accept everything related to tourism, not engineering or medical science. But I assure you, if you publish in a tourism economics, you will have more than 10 times citation compared to tourism interdisciplinary. Because those customer. Those who are going to read and cite your paper, they will not be finding the paper in tourism interdisciplinary. They will know for forecasting or economics based, policies based paper, actually tourism economics must have. So that's why consider the specific context while searching or deciding or finalizing the journal. Always remember that the quality of your research is the most important factor. Everyone wants to publish in SCCIQ, but quality everywhere. For every mother, their kids are beautiful and handsome. Okay, but we know. For me, my son is the most handsome person. Others, how do they consider for their teachers? Well, that's the most energetic and annoying person in the class. Kids has to be annoying, right? Otherwise, they won't be called as kids. That's my definition. But the teachers, they are disturbing my flow. As a teacher, I consider the same also. When I meet their parents, always remember the quality of research is the most important. So you are not the judge to evaluate the quality of your own paper. You are not the reviewer of your own paper. Before submitting to any of the journals, send the paper to your colleagues, your supervisor, anyone who is in the same discipline. Can you please go through the paper? Do you think my paper makes sense? I'm not talking about quality. Makes sense means those dots are connected or not. Create one line, we have to connect the dots, right? The dots are connected or not. You have lots of bumps in between and you want to come up with a big line. Probably today or tomorrow we will be talking about the paragraphs also, making sure that the paragraph is a kind of hamburger actually. We know that what comes in each layer actually. If something is missing or something is too much, it will destroy the test. Right?
How can we evaluate the quality of our?
You cannot evaluate of your own
Maybe
paper.
authentic data or some kind of.
Quality of your paper, overall quality is not only the data. First of all, the writing style. First of all, the starting, the flow. Okay. How you are engaging the audience, the readers. Okay. For me, research paper is a story, making sure that every page ends with some curiosity. If not, I will lose my interest. Boring. Second, if I need to read something second time to understand, problematic. English is not our mother tongue, but we have that experience that reading one time we can understand logic. If I need to read again, second time, it means it's confusing. It means it's not that simple. So research has to be in a simple ways.
But in academic words.
Simple. It's very simple actually, which a layman can understand. Yes, your supervisors, your examiners, your evaluators are the expert. Okay. Let me take simple example. Please don't get offended. Your father and your mother are not from academia, they are not from tourism, right? But when you give your paper to them, they can read, okay. They don't ask you much about that. To understand that, it means simple, convincing. Okay, earlier also I mentioned that explain the phenomena in a way which doesn't create some more question. Ends the questions. Okay. Reduces the opportunity of asking more questions. Confusing always gets confusing, confusion and rejection. And quality check, you cannot. You are not custodian to check the quality of your work. We find that we can't find even a silly errors. You know, I finished my master's in 2012. I finished my PhD in 2015, and now we are in 2025. So 10 years to PhD and 13 years to master's, right? During my PhD, one day, I don't know, there was something, I went back and I opened my master's thesis. Literally, I was laughing. I swear, I was laughing, oh my God, what the crap? The first version actually, means every paragraph have grammatical issues even. Why? Because this knowledge comes with the passage of time. Reading, reviewing, rewriting. And then, when we send the paper to proofreader, when it comes back, it doesn't mean like we don't, I don't trust anyone in this life. Anyone. Especially for my research. Parents and wife, of course, those are exceptional. Research. So proofreaders can send, we check again. Wow. So big screen, the version I send, the version proofreader has said, wow. Wow. What are the tones? What are the words? They have replaced, rephrased. Okay. And when keep on checking, so we also follow their style. Unintentionally, it comes in a different. And also, we are using professional grammarly, so it avoids the errors. Nowadays, any document, even a WhatsApp message, email, paper, anything, I'm writing or typing on my laptop. Okay. The auto grammarly is correcting. So I don't care, okay? I just, whatever comes to my mind, Okay. Some more AI is really helping. Make it in a professional style. Make it in a more humble, respectful for the top level management to get convinced. Wow. Make it slightly in a threatening style. Wow. Why should I pay to correct my grammar? I don't have a time to learn grammars now, actually, because the AI. I'm not asking them to write a very appealing letter. No. We are not generating the content. That is unethical. I just wrote in a very layman word. Okay, this is the cause, this is the purpose, this is the budget asked, these are the consequences. Without checking the full stop, comma, here and there, just throw. Make it in a nice 2-paragraph, polish it here, there, use some strong jargons, convincing style, and then read again, because AI cannot be reliable. But in paper, now as we are talking about the AI, so at least we should focus 5 minutes on AI. AI is very huge. We take one tool, ChatGPT, most commonly used. Okay, I use the paid version of ChatGPT. I use the paid version of Google Grammarly. Why? Because yes, we have to actually, because it really perfects message, email, everything autocorrect. So I don't need to focus on the comma, full stop, or this tense or the future tense, the past tense. I go, we go, you go. I don't care actually. Just keep on being corrected actually. This is wonderful. It reduces my time and engagement for those small matters also. I can focus. Most important thing. Second, AI or ChatGPT usage in research. Any of the journal, I'm talking, when I say any means a good journal, index journals actually, they have their policy of using ChatGPT or AI, artificial intelligence, in the papers. Okay. No one is saying no. No one is saying no. We are being convinced, forced, acknowledged that must use. For what purpose? For what purpose? Recently, last month, one of my paper was published in Events Management Journal, Q2 or Q3 now. When we submitted Q2, I think now Q3. And it's SLR, Systematic Literature Review, Bibliometric Analysis. 100% from ChatGPT. Polishing. But we just acknowledge ChatGPT, this version was used for what purpose? To improvise the language. Not to generate the content, but to improvise the delivery of a content. Because when we submit the paper to any journal, immediately it goes to the plagiarism check. Okay. First, overall plagiarism, then how much you have copied from here, there, and anywhere. And it should be less than 10-12% overall. If it's above 50%, paper is less rejected, please correct it first. Sorry? Citation one doesn't detect actually. Okay, only the one which you have copied, which comes in the inverted commas also doesn't detect. Okay, so do you check your paper plagiarism or similarity index before submitting or not? Okay. So I have to check. Otherwise, you are like blindly submitting the paper for rejection. Any document which I receive from the student, okay, so I have created one assignment on the Turnitin, actually just submit there, don't email me. Just submit there and allow me or trigger me, just confirm me that you have submitted. I will download, I will check. Okay. If above 15%, they can check easily also that is above 50%. Download it, correct it, and resubmit it.
The quality of your research is an important factor.
Sorry, is there any question? So, conclusion is don't generate the content, but polish it, and for the delivery, it's fine. Also, the second thing. Just get the question if there is any question. Last point I can clean up. Getting the ideas from here.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm lost. Okay. Of course, we read the literature, but reading the literature also we need some sort of keywords, startups actually. Okay. How to get engaged in the beginning. Okay. So most of the time nowadays actually my hobby is ChatGPT. Okay. I ask so many nice and stupid questions also. Because that doesn't get offended. If I ask these things to someone, actually, I don't know how the person is very sensitive actually. This one can ask anything. So, get the ideas. Not copying, but okay, copy from there to Word and then delete. Out of 10, probably 2, 3, 4 are useful. Search about it. Okay. Write your phrases on the paragraph again. Give back to the ChatGPT. Make it more convincing. Or actually, you gave me a very nice content, but I was not asking in this style. Okay. So it depends on what type of query you are giving to. Last week, actually, I saw one of the posts actually that this PPT and everything is outdated. We don't need any more. The AI can generate a nice presentations and so many other things. The figures, the images, this analytical softwares. You don't need it. if we instruct the AI nicely that this is the data and what exactly I want to do. Okay, from table to the illustration in a nicer paragraph, or from paragraph can be a table creation. Everything is possible.
But we are still making research, even if we have AI.
I didn't say that AI is researching on our behalf. AI is a tool to support the researcher to conduct a research in a nicer and a convenient style and most promptly. So it's very helpful. Okay, but ethically, what is the cause or the reason you have used the AI for? That you have to declare. When I checked the event management paper actually, which was just recently published, I checked the plagiarism, 6% overall, AI, 13%. AI, artificial intelligence plagiarism, 13%. So I was thinking for a while that what's happening? Should I submit? But I have acknowledged.
Did we? Yeah. На всякий случай.
Is there a question?
Forgot to mute them.
Буду.
Escape the button.
Баде.
Okay, just tell them mute all.
If I generate my text with AI and it can be plagiarized.
You have copied or the AI have generated the text actually. I can show you on the plagiarism on the Turnitin actually. As an instructor, I can generate 2 reports.
The original idea was unique, but I generated it.
Possible also. Okay. The same thing. That's why I said it was completely my work actually, my analysis, my write-up, but still AI was showing 13% plagiarism. We can revise, but I don't want it to because I have acknowledged the AI for improvising. I said if the editor asks me to improvise and reduce this, then yes, no issue. Earlier, when the ChatGPT was new, ChatGPT came as was introduced as an author also for some of the papers. Okay, but then immediately all the journals said no, ChatGPT cannot be author. But still, if you go to the Google search, you can find few papers. Okay, ChatGPT as an author. Then all the material came from ChatGPT. Fine. I have one paper actually for almost 8-9 months actually rejected from one journal, and now it's under review in another journal. Usage of ChatGPT in teaching and learning in hospitality and tourism, higher education, something like that. Okay, it is also bibliometric SLR, but usage of ChatGPT specifically. So we have so many do and don'ts, some directions. Any other question before we go on break? Questions, please. Or those who are online, if you can listen to me, you can type your question or you can ask, but in English only. If you are shy, you can type your question.
Okay, so some problem with GPT. So the system that can recognize the usage of the GPT chart. So So it doesn't matter what kind, in what terms did you use the GPT? So for grammar mistakes or for like inspiration for ideas, just for the usage. It can be denied just for the usage.
Or we should mention some kind of way that we used this chat for this purpose.
Because the usage of GPT just for the saving for time and for checking the grammar and for the diversity for like terminology, I think it's not so.
You have created
It's
the
not
content.
cheating, it's just.
Yes, yes, that's why you have to acknowledge it. When you, okay, there is a one paragraph which I gave the ChatGPT that please polish it. Polish it or clean up and write a more stronger, convincing academic style for a research paper
Improve.
in a social science. Yeah, of course, improvisation. So that content which you have wrote first, actually, how sure you are, those are your words. Probably there can be someone in a different part of the world thinks in the same style how you think. One thing. What is the formula or algorithm behind the ChatGPT actually? It captures all the information. Whenever you send, whenever you put on the ChatGPT, it absorbs. Okay. So when I search or I did something polishing actually, and tomorrow when you are doing, okay, so probably it will see same. Some of the data is matching. So that's why every day the ChatGPT is being stronger because the information is being captured and it's keep on expanding. Okay, but it has a limitation. Okay, how in ancient you can go or until what date the accurate data is available on ChatGPT. There are lots of information which you get from ChatGPT doesn't make sense. So you have to use your brain and both eyes very carefully while you get the content from ChatGPT. Even after polishing, I go through this thing. Even a Grammarly also suggests so many annoying corrections actually. If blindly we are accepting, then we are gone. Because it completely changes the actual sense what we wanted to say. So when I accept the correction, I just go one by one. Because that comma, full stop also where we want is suggesting, but it doesn't mean that we have to accept those suggestions. It's just suggesting. So those suggestions can be worthy, cannot be worthy. We are human to make the decision. It's our thing. So ChatGPT such as I play around with ChatGPT, okay? I create simple content and I just tell okay, that's what but you have to instruct the ChatGPT very nicely. I am writing a literature review for my research paper in this journal. This journal have this focus and so on and so on. I have created one paragraph of 300 words. Can you please find and use some suitable citation in between the content of those 300 words paragraph? You understand what I said? When I capture that information, I brought to the Microsoft Word. Then each citation I just copied and went to the Google Scholar. That citation, that paper doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Fact citation. Because ChatGPT can't say no. It didn't learn to say no.
People pleaser.
Okay, but it fakes it. But I really checked actually this thing. Okay, so we shouldn't rely. Okay? It's a helping hand actually, rather than a free body, which can do anything on your behalf. That's not my laptop. So I can't do much because I have lots of websites on my laptop. We will try our best to find. Because this just now the plagiarism, so immediately I can show my level that how the two reports are being generated and what is the plagiarism for the AI. So let's take a break and then we talk to the IT guy. If I can just move to my rather than. I said the person who was sitting earlier there, I can solve it. Earlier they were, I used this one, but they said, we are having the Zoom call. So it's very hard to talk to them from there. Okay. What time you start? It's 1:39. I don't know. We have to have lunch actually, so it depends on time. It's 1:39. I think 3 to 5. No, 3 to 5. Yeah, because I need at least 2. I have lots of things.
Can you announce to Zoom participants